What's up, guys? I'm live. How are y'all tonight? Happy Monday, Team Call Night, payday, my favorite day. So, y'all drop a comment whenever you get on. Let me know where you're watching from. I want to see who all gets to watch the video. I want to chat with y'all a little bit tonight and tell you about an experience conversation that I had with a woman this weekend that really got me thinking. I want to chat with y'all about it. Well, let me hear I can say hi. Would you come on? So I'm just going to get into it for those of you that are catching the replay so that you're not sitting here forever as I'm just chatting away. I'm just going to hop into what I want to talk about tonight. So the other day, I believe it was Sunday, I was just following up with my customers and following up with people that I had talked to about the products before. Hey Heather, hey Penny, hey Lauren. So I was just following up with these people. Hey Natasha, I see actually Natasha's asking in Messenger. Can someone reply to Natasha and let her know that she can hop on live with us in True Hustle? Hey, they're making shirts and listening. On the grind, double time, girlfriend. So, guys, Sunday, I was just following up with people that I had talked to about the products before, but they hadn't like taken the step. And I was just shooting people messages. And there's this one lady that we have talked multiple times. Multiple times, she has came to me and asked me about the products. And so, with all the awesome deals we have right now, I wanted to make sure I reached out to her and I was telling her about the deals. And she was like, oh my God, that sounds like such an amazing deal, but I've been put off work because of COVID, and I just can't afford it right now. I'm only getting $200 a week. So I'm talking to with her, and I'm like, so what kind of work did you do? Start having this conversation. And so she tells me what kind of work she does and why she's not getting calls, why her pay's cut so bad. And we're chatting. She's already interested in the product, already wants to try them. So I'm like, why don't I help this girl? Why don't I show her how to make some money, right? So I start telling her, like, you can create your account with me. We can start getting you to make some money. Maybe you can get your products free so you don't have to pay out of pocket. Because I wanted to help her. I know that she really wants these supplements and they could really help her. And then when she told me about losing her job, I thought, perfect. Let's show you how to make some money too. And guys, at first she was like, oh yeah, sounds good. And then she just brought up like the craziest excuse to me. And like it kind of broke my heart for her. She didn't want to join the business because she said, okay, so do I get a 1099 or a W-2? And I was like, oh, a 1099, but you're a business owner. You get so many deductions. And guys, for real, like there are so many deductions when you own a home business. And I think I was actually talking to Natasha about that the other day. Like your internet bill, any gas you spend, anything you're shipping, anytime you go on a trip that is business related, or you're just meeting up with someone selling samples, all that stuff is tax deductible. Like there are tons and tons of tax deductions for home business owners. And so far in my 5 years of being in this business, I'm going to tell you, I have been scared because I'm like, oh my gosh, I made so much money tax free. Like, how are my taxes going to be? I have been scared. And then when they did my taxes and they figured up all my deductions, it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, I'm good. It's like not that bad. It can be scary. But she told me that she didn't want to do this business because she had a business before where she got a 1099 and she only got $20 back on her taxes. And I was like, okay, but maybe you just didn't know about all the deductions that you had. Like maybe something was wrong there. Maybe you just needed some guidance. Um, but it just blew my mind that someone who is struggling and broke would turn down an opportunity to change their life and start making money and get on the second ones that they already really want to get onto, um, because they're afraid that they might have to pay taxes or and honestly that's very uneducated. Like if you find a good accountant like that knows all the deductions for home businesses and stuff, like you are good. But that was just her excuse. And then after she said that, and I assured her, like, no, I haven't, like, I've been scared about the taxes, but you can do this. After I assured her, then she said, no, God's got me. We have been making it this far. God has been providing. He will keep providing. And that hurt. Not hurt me, but I hurt for her because there are so many people out there like that too, that they just think God, something's gonna happen. So somehow this problem is gonna just solve itself. God is gonna fix this problem that's gonna fall in my lap. And I'm sitting here thinking like, what if God put me in your path today because you needed this opportunity? Like it makes you want to shake them. And it's like, how can you sit here and say, God's got it, He's going to take care of it? You're sitting there just hoping and praying that God's going to take care of it. But God is showing you these opportunities, you're turning them down. Listen, God doesn't reward you for walking in fear. He rewards you for walking in faith, for being scared and doing it anyways, for not knowing what you're going to do, what your next step is. Stepping out in faith, that is when God rewards you. So I hurt for that woman. I was sad that she let these excuses hold her back because I really felt this was something that could help her. But at the same time, I had this moment with myself that I was like, you know what, Karen? You've been given this opportunity and you don't take full advantage of it. You don't follow up like you should, and you don't dig in like you should, and you don't share like you should. So I took it, when I thought about that, it was for myself too. I've been given this opportunity, and there are things that I want, and God is here. He's given me all the ingredients. I have all that I need. I'm just not putting in the work. So I wanted you guys to think about that tonight. How are you doing with that? And also think about, you're gonna have people that run across that and they have excuses, and it's okay to hurt for them. It's okay to be kind of sad for them that they don't have their mind open to it, but don't let it discourage you because they aren't in a space ready to give this a try. Like just move along to the next person because someone else is open. I had two other ladies join my team that day and started building their business. So even though that woman wasn't in the mind space, I didn't let that get me down, kept talking to people. So I wanted to encourage you guys to do that too. Talking and evaluate yourself. Are you taking full advantage of this opportunity? Just think about that. Read your comments real quick. Hey there, listen, we all get in ruts. And you know what? There's always room for improvement. Like on my days that I have hustled the hardest, I would never give myself a 10 out of 10 productive. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to get better. And we're always growing. So it takes, and we're all at different levels and different, to explain it. We're all working toward different goals. We have different things that we're pushing for. So while one person may be pushing to make sure that all their bills are paid for, another person might just be pushing to make sure their products are covered. And somebody might be doing this full time. Another person might be just working this in the cracks of their day for fun. So you can't compare your business journeys just like weight loss journeys. You never know what struggles someone is. I really compare my weight loss journey and my business journey. They are very, very similar. Um, just with the needing the consistency for one, then not comparing yourself to others because your journey is very different, just like in weight loss, as with your business. And also, just we all have different challenges. We're all facing different challenges and hurdles in our lives and with the growth of our business. So you can't compare yourself. Um, I wanted to share something with y'all. It's a really great video. I'm going to try to do screen sharing here and share with y'all. This video, I watched fairly early on to start in my business. One of my mentors shared it in a group. And I remember just laying in my bed one night. I was living in Pennsylvania at the time. And I was just really getting into this business and just diving into if they were successful in this business, I'm following them because I want to see what they're doing. I'm just trying to learn and soak up everything like a sponge. And that's how you have to do. So one of my mentors posted this video and I jumped on it and watched it. And watching this video was like an eye opener. Like it gave me it literally flipped a switch in my brain. I went from thinking that all these people that were around me and they were having success, that they were good enough, but for some reason I wasn't good enough, or that I didn't have what it took. This video flipped that switch in me. So I want to share this with you guys. Let me figure out how to do screen share real quick. I want you guys to watch this video and drop some hearts if you guys like it, if it helps you at all, or if you hear anything at all interesting in this video. So let's see how we do screen share on here. My first time ever attempting that. So screen share. Okay. So y'all, I've got hold of them here. Yay! Okay. So I'm gonna hit play. Okay, let me see what I can do because I want y'all to hear this. You gotta hear it. And I might be doing something wrong here. Okay, I see something here that says share computer sound. So let me y'all give me some hearts if you can hear it this time.
Hi. So today I'm going to talk about how our mindsets matter in virtually every facet of our lives. But I want to begin by telling a story about a group of researchers in Italy. Dr. Fabrizio Benedetti and his colleagues studied a group of patients undergoing thoracic surgery. Now, what you should know about thoracic surgery is that it's a very invasive procedure. Patients are put under anesthesia while the surgeons make major incisions into the muscles of the sides and the back in order to gain access to their heart and to their lungs. Now, about an hour after the anesthesia fades away, the pain starts to set in. Fortunately, patients are given strong doses of morphine sulfate, a powerful painkiller. This is routine treatment for thoracic surgery, but Dr. Benedetti and his colleagues made a few subtle tweaks. Half of the patients were given the dose of morphine by a doctor at their bedside. The other half was given the exact same dose of morphine, but it was administered into their IV by a pre-programmed pump. Now, you would think that both of these groups of patients would experience the same relief, but this was not the case. The group that received the morphine by the doctor reported significant reductions in their pain levels. The other group, the group who received the same exact amount of morphine but wasn't aware of it, they didn't seem to experience the same benefit. So Dr. Benedetti and his colleagues didn't stop there. They used the same procedure to test the effectiveness of other treatments, treatments for anxiety, treatments for Parkinson's disease, treatments for hypertension. And what they found was remarkable and consistent. When the patients were aware of the treatment and expected to receive the benefit, the treatment was highly effective. But when they weren't, that same drug, that same pill, and that same procedure was blunted, and in some cases, not even effective at all. So I read about these studies when I was a student at Harvard University, and at the time I was heavily immersed into the literature on the placebo effect. And the more I read, the more I started thinking about the true nature of placebos. So what is the placebo effect really? Well, most people discount the placebo effect as just some magical response to some fake pill or some faux procedure. But that's not what the placebo effect is. The placebo effect is not about the faux pill or the sugar pill or the fake procedure. What the placebo effect really is a powerful, robust, and consistent demonstration of the ability of our mindsets, in this case, the expectation to heal, to recruit healing properties in the body. So what is a mindset? A mindset is quite literally a setting of the mind. It's a lens or a frame of mind through which we view the world. We simplify the infinite number of potential interpretations at any given moment. Now, the ability to simplify our world through our mindsets is a natural part of being human. But what I want to suggest to you today is that these mindsets are not inconsequential, and instead they play a dramatic role in determining our health and our well-being. So while I was at Harvard, I had the opportunity to work with Professor Ellen Langer. She's a professor of psychology, and when she heard that I was also a Division I athlete, laughed at me. She said, "You know, exercise is just a placebo, right?" Now, I was kind of offended because at the time I had been spending up to 4 hours a day training my body to be in optimal shape. But she did get me thinking about mindsets and how they might matter outside of medical walls. Was I getting fitter and stronger because of the time and the energy that I was putting into my training? Or was I getting fitter and stronger because I believed that I would? What about the other extreme? What if people were getting an extraordinary amount of exercise but weren't aware of it? Would they not receive the same benefit? We decided to test this, and to test this, we found a really unique group of women, a group of 84 hotel housekeepers working in 7 different hotels across the US. So these women are on their feet all day long. They're using a variety of muscles, and they're burning an extraordinary amount of calories just doing their job. But what's interesting is that these women don't seem to view their work in this light. We asked them, we said, do you exercise regularly? And 2/3 said no. So we said, okay, well, so on a scale of 0 to 10, how much exercise do you get? And 1/3 of them said 0. I get no exercise at all. So we wondered, what would happen if we could change their mindset? So we took these women, we split them into 2 groups. We measured them on a variety of things, including their weight, their blood pressure, their body fat, their satisfaction with their job. And then we took half of them and we gave them a simple 15-minute presentation. We gave them this poster and we said, you know, your work is good exercise. It satisfies the Surgeon General's requirements, which are quite simply to accumulate about 30 minutes of moderate physical activity. You should expect to receive those benefits. 15 minutes. We came back 4 weeks later and we measured them again. Not surprisingly, the group that didn't receive this information didn't change. But those that did looked different. They dropped weight. They had a significant reduction in systolic blood pressure. They dropped body fat. And they reported liking their job more. So what does this tell us? Well, to me, it was fascinating that just as a result of a simple 15-minute presentation, the whole game changed, producing a cascade of effects on both their health and their well-being, presumably without even changing behavior. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, how do you know they didn't change their behavior, right? Because that must have been what produced the effects. Well, we know they didn't work anymore. And the room attendants themselves assured us that they didn't join the sports club down the street. But of course, we can't know for sure if they weren't, putting a little more oomph into their making the beds. So this question really plagued me. Is there a direct, immediate connection between our mindsets and our bodies? So to test this, I worked with my colleagues at Yale, Kelly Brownell, Will Corbin, and Peter Salovey, and we did so by making a big batch of milkshakes. So we made this big batch of milkshakes, and then we invited people to come to our lab to try the milkshakes, and in exchange, we would give them $75. Sounds great, right? Well, the less appealing aspect of the agreement was that while they were drinking the shakes, we had them hooked up to an IV so we could get their blood sample.
This is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond. This is the kitchen.
Okay.
We were out to measure ghrelin. Ghrelin is a peptide. It's secreted in the gut. The medical experts call this the hunger hormone. So when we haven't eaten in a while, our ghrelin levels start to rise, signaling to the brain it's time to seek out food and slowing our metabolism to, just in case we don't find that food. Now, say we go out, we find and we devour a milkshake, a hamburger, some French fries, our ghrelin levels drop, signaling to our brain, time to stop eating, and revving up the metabolism so we can burn the food that was just consumed. So the participants came in, we hooked them up to an IV, and then we gave them a milkshake, Sensa-Shake. This is 0% fat, 140 calories, 0 added sugar. This is guilt-free satisfaction. So they drank this shake, and in response, their ghrelin levels dropped, but only very slightly, signaling to the brain that some food had been consumed, but not a whole lot. So a week later, they came back to our lab, we hooked them up to an IV again, and we gave them this shake. 620 calories, 30 grams of fat, 56 grams of sugar. Now this is decadence you deserve. And in response to this shake, their ghrelin levels dropped again, but this time at a significantly steeper rate, about 3 times more than the shake they had before. Now, this would make good sense to any metabolic nutritionist who understands that the drop in ghrelin is proportional to the amount of calories consumed. But there was a catch. In this study, even though the participants thought they had consumed the sensible shake and the indulgent shake, in reality, we gave them the exact same shake at both time points. So what does this tell us? Well, just as in the case when the same amount of morphine produced more or less of an effect depending on our awareness, and just as in the case when the same amount of exercise produced more or less of a benefit depending on how it was construed, here again, our mindsets proved to matter. In this case, suggesting it might not be just calories in and calories out, or the precise makeup of fats, nutrients, but what we believe, what we expect, what we think about the foods we eat that determines our body's response. So in light of this, it behooves us to consider our own lives. What are our mindsets? And how might we begin to shift them, to alter them, to have them be more beneficial? So take stress, for example. What's your mindset about stress? If you're like most people, you have the mindset that stress is bad. Bad, bad, bad. Bad stress. Now, this is not surprising considering that everywhere we look, there's warnings, labels, yelling at us, reminding us about the negative effects of stress. But the truth of stress is not so clear-cut, and in fact, there's a robust and growing body of research showing that stress can have positive effects, enhancing effects on our health, our well-being, and our performance. Now, I'm not here to try to persuade you that the effects of stress are enhancing, but rather to point out that the truth of stress is like most things in life, and that is, it's uncertain. And therefore, to raise the question, do our mindsets about stress determine our response? So to test this question, I worked with Sean Aker and Peter Salovey, and we worked with a group of 300 employees. This was after the 2008 financial collapse, and we decided they were stressed. They had just heard that 10% of their workforce was going to be laid off, and they were overworked. So we decided to see if we could change their mindset. And we did so by having them watch simple video clips. So I'm going to show them to you here simultaneously, but half of the participants saw the one on the left, half saw the one on the right. So you get the point, yes? So here we are, in the dark. So here we are, they're watching facts, research, anecdotes, all true, but oriented towards one view or the other. And what we found was interesting. Those who watched these simple 3-minute video clips before the bell rang, before their job began, over the course of the next few weeks reported fewer negative health symptoms, fewer backaches, less muscle tension, less insomnia. And they also reported a higher level of engagement and performance at work. So at this point, I've presented 4 studies that demonstrate the power of mindset in medicine, in exercise, in diet, and in stress. There are many other very talented scholars tackling this phenomena as we speak. Carol Dweck's research demonstrates us that if we can shift our mindset about intelligence and talent as something that's fixed to something that's changeable over time, it can dramatically alter our academic and professional success. Yale epidemiologist Becca Levy's research shows us that if we can change our mindsets about aging, from viewing aging as an inevitable process of deterioration to a process of gaining wisdom, gaining growth, not only shapes the course of how we grow old, but even extends longevity. Ted Kapchuk and his group at Harvard's Program for Placebo Studies is doing cutting-edge work understanding how we can begin to harness and ethically utilize the placebo effect in clinical practice. So though the context is different, the message is the same. Our mindsets matter. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that medicine doesn't work, or that there are no benefits of exercise, or that what we eat doesn't matter. It does. But the psychological and physiological effect of anything in our lives can and is influenced by our mindset. So is the power of mindset limitless? Probably not. But what I hope I've done for you today is inspired you to reconsider where those limits really are. Because the true task ahead is to begin reclaiming this power for ourselves, to acknowledge the power of mindset, and know that just like this, in just the blink of an eye, we can change the game of any facet of our life quite simply by changing our mindset. Thank you.
One of the great challenges.
All right, y'all. What did you think of the video? Give me some takeaways from that. Draw me some comments. Let me know one thing that you got from that in the comments. That's one of my favorite videos. I have gone back and watched it multiple times because, like, I'll never forget the moment that I watched that video for the first time and things just flipped for me. And I was like, you know what? I can lose this weight. I can have a successful business with this. If these other people can do it, I can do it. And I just had to change my mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it helped you see the power in your mindset and just making that shift, switching your mindset. And sorry, guys, I'm going to change my girlfriend. I've been there. I have been in ruts before and like got so down on myself that to really lose sight of how worthy I am. It happens to the best of us. It really does. My biggest advice when you find yourself really struggling like that is to dive into some videos like this, some personal development. I'll tell you, when I was listening to this weekend, if you like to listen to like inspirational speakers, she is more like she's a preacher, but she is very, very uplifting and inspiring for women and entrepreneurs. is Sarah Jakes Roberts. Girl, she gets me going. I'm gonna put Sarah Jakes Roberts on my YouTube to deliver him on Sunday while I'm doing my cleaning, and she just speaks right to me every time. But sometimes you just gotta dig yourself into that and nourish yourself a little bit. That's really a part of self-care for me is the personal development thing. Um, if you keep yourself learning and growing, learn things about yourself, um, about emotional stability and things like that, that really helps. Tony Robbins talks about that a lot. And really, you know how they talked about in the video, how stress can be negative or it can be positive depending on how you view it. I want to say that Tony Robbins, a lot of his videos have helped me to view stress and handle stress a lot better, like to see it in a different light and use it more as a catalyst or something to go harder than as something to debilitate me and put me in a ball in the corner with my anxiety, which is how I would normally react, getting better at. But it takes personal development, personal growth. But if you ever feel you are in a jam, I recommend go on YouTube, listen to some things like that. Get you a good book. There are I'll have to next week. I'll be by my bookshelf, probably my books in here, and I'll share some good books with y'all that I really like. But just a good book. And I'm not saying it's like a quick fix. It's not like going to get you out of your rut overnight. But when you dive into the world of personal development and you start pouring into yourself that way, you're going to have less ruts and you're going to pull out of them quicker. And you never know. Sometimes it does help you a lot. It does help quick. But it does get better over time for sure, especially the more you dive into that. I can tell you that from my personal experience. But that's really all I want to share with you guys tonight. I really wanted to talk about, us evaluating ourselves, and are we really using this opportunity to like we should? Are we really taking full advantage of this amazing opportunity that's been brought to us? We have an amazing company. Our owners, corporate, I mean, they couldn't get any better. They truly care about people, truly care about us. They keep the products affordable and effective, safe, because they care about truly helping us. We have programs like the 10K Pledge and the Penny app, the Business Personal Assistant, those things because they actually care about us and our success. They care about if we have good products, if we have a good business opportunity. So we just have this amazing opportunity in front of us and so many people that could use our help. And we all have amazing stories. You may not think you do. You may think you don't have anything important to share. I promise you do. We all have these stories and so many people that we need to reach. So I just kind of want to touch on that. I could get on here and train about how to get more sales or how to find more people to talk to, but there's 50 million videos of that in this group. And if you need some of that, scroll through some of those videos, find yourself some training. There's tons in here. But tonight, I just wanted to talk about our mindset a little bit and share that video with you guys. But I am going to hop off here. I've not seen any questions, but you guys know if you have questions, you can comment them and I'll come back to it, or you can hit my inbox. But I'm going to get out of here. I still have messages to catch up with. People wanting to know about these drinks, right? So I got to get back to those messages, and it's almost my bedtime, y'all. I go to bed early. But I love y'all. See you next week.